and I'm from App Academy. I'm with the Gen AI team. So we actually recently launched our Gen AI course, which is an upskilling course for software engineers. But actually, also everyone is welcome to enroll, whether as an AI enthusiast or someone who has some proficiency in machine learning or web development. There are no like hard prerequisites, and we also have a free trial that you can test out from the website. I'll give you a link to that later on. If you're curious to see what this is all about, or if you have some idea about what this is, and you want to see whether the content is for you, you're more than welcome to try. So, but before all that, let me just introduce myself. Aside from being connected with App Academy, I've also been in this space for more than 6 years now. I've been, prior to joining App Academy, I worked for another coding bootcamp based in San Francisco. And we offer like B2C and B2B tech courses, like in web development or data science, backend development. I was also involved in promoting and helping the Gen AI course for that specific coding school. And then I'm also an AI consultant. I have my own business. I help startups develop their processes, business processes, sales, using AI. And then I also have, although my job does not technically require me to code all the time, I'm actually also familiar with some of the technologies and terminologies used there. So I can comprehend at least when I'm speaking with my software engineering friends and colleagues. And also, I'm also a member of the Open AI Forum, which is a community of professionals and experts from various domains and disciplines. So we joined together with students with OpenAI to help. We're basically collaborating and promoting the safe and ethical development of AI in different areas, but especially in education. So the topic for this webinar is quite long and provocative and broad. But at the same time, we're also promoting our Gen AI course. So I'll give you more information about what our course is. But there's like a larger issue here, which is the disruption being brought about by the rapid development of artificial intelligence in many different areas, whether it's business or healthcare or coding and many other areas. So for this specific webinar, I'm going to give you a few reasons why it's essential, especially if you are a tech worker, if you're a software engineer or an AI enthusiast, to learn specific AI skills for you to remain competitive, for you to thrive in your career. So the subtext here, as you can see, is that it's not enough, we believe, for you to merely become good at using like ChatGPT or Claude or Google's Gemini or Perplexity and many other chatbots and copilots is actually also essential, especially if you are looking to build a strong long-term career as an engineer, to learn how to build AI-powered applications and agents. So we actually have a packed agenda for this seminar, so I'll do my best to keep within the allotted time, to respect your time. So for this event, I'll be sharing some of the reasons why App Academy may be a better fit for you than other programs, other schools offering similar courses. And then we'll talk about some of the challenges that software engineers are facing today. And then why AI skills matter now more than ever, especially as we enter 2025, because for the past, I think, year or so, the buzzword has been about, conversational AI and generative AI and how amazing ChatGPT is and Midjourney and Sora and all of these other AI tools that can produce totally new content in terms of text or video or audio and images. But actually, like a bigger buzzword that is coming, especially for 2025, is called agentic AI or AI agents, which are like autonomous. Depending if you're technical or not, but AI agents is like they're like a computer software that can do autonomous things with very little to no human intervention. So more on that later on. And then we can visualize how your future may look like if you will consider this career trajectory. And then I'll give you an outline of the course we're offering, and then some idea about like the salaries being offered for AI related roles, and then what our free trial looks like and how you can maximize that. Some Q&A in the end, and then I'll give you some next steps if you want to go further. I'll also leave you my contact details if you wish to speak with me anytime this week or next week. All right, so some of the reasons why App Academy may be a better fit is that we are ranked highly, pretty highly. According to Career Karma, if you search, 4.7 out of 5 stars by over 1,000 of our graduates. And then we've been in the industry since 2012, so longer than most coding boot camps. And then we have produced like high quality graduates, data scientists, web developers, software engineers, and so on, 5K. And then many of them are now in well-established careers, working for companies of various sizes, whether it's a big tech company like Amazon or Google or Meta, and startups as well, or mid-sized companies. And then another reason is that we see that the demand for AI roles like AI engineers or machine learning engineer or AI product manager and so on is skyrocketing. And the pay is significantly higher compared with traditional tech roles. And I can show you some screenshots later on to show that. So that's according to this source. It's, I think, one of the fastest growing tech careers globally, not just in the US, but also in the UK and elsewhere. Right, so here's a chart for some comparison between App Academy and other like major competitors. In terms of program duration, we sit somewhere in between. So neither too short, neither nor too long. We are 10 weeks. The minimum time commitment is around 10 hours a week. So that's 2 hours of live coaching sessions with the instructor or with the domain expert every week, plus one Q&A session. And then the rest of the time, you'll be building projects. Some courses may offer a much longer time period, but we believe that that's counterproductive because if you want to pivot fast, you have to move fast. And we believe that what we teach are the essentials. It doesn't have the fluff, and it's also not lacking because some courses they dwell more on maybe like foundational concepts on Gen AI or like some tools, like some prompting techniques for how to use LLMs better. But for us, it's much more comprehensive, as you will see later on. The program is also very flexible. So if you are like working a full-time job, or if you have other commitments, obligations, a lot of stuff happening in your life, you can still take this course because it's very flexible. Whenever you have time, you can just log in and study, code, build projects, and then meet with your instructor at least twice a week, and then involve yourself in our community in Discord. Others, they may have some more of a rigid schedule compared to us. Others may be more of a massive open online course setup wherein there's a lot of resources given to you, but there's no accountability. There's there's not a single person you can speak with live to ask for help. And then so our curriculum focus is really twofold. The first part of the course for the first 5 weeks, we teach AI-powered software development. So we teach some AI tools, technologies, techniques to help you streamline the entire software development lifecycle. So from initial design of the app to development, then testing, documentation, deployment, and so on. So you can streamline these workflows. You can make yourself faster by using specific AI tools. And then the second part teaches purely about AI. So some foundational concepts on what LLMs are, or what large language models are, and how to use them, how to pull APIs from them, how to tinker with them, how to integrate them into a specific project or product you may be building. And then also how to design, build, and deploy AI-powered applications, and more importantly, agents to work for you. Other courses may offer a bit of this, a bit of that, but for us, like, we cover all the important stuff. It's very practical as well. It's a very project-oriented. So by the end of the course, you will be building at least 10 mini projects, and then 2 capstone projects for every part. So that's at least 1 mini project per week that you will be doing. Especially helpful if you are building your portfolio and you want to build something that's truly impressive for a potential employer. For some of our students, they bring in a specific use case from their organization. So maybe they have a pain point when it comes to generating code, or documenting code, or it may be a use case that's more complex. So they bring the project in the course, and then they build a product while taking the course. So by the time they're done, they'll have something very useful that they can take back to their companies. Then in terms of mentorship and support, there are bi-weekly live workshops, as I mentioned, Q&A sessions, Discord. We also have our own chatbot within the curriculum, so it's trained on the program itself. So you can ask it for questions, but if you need to speak with someone live, there's also someone you can speak with. Others may have much more limited mentorship opportunities, or none. So in terms of like MOOCs, there might not be someone who you can hop on a Zoom call with and ask for help, or ask someone to debug your project. In terms of tuition pricing, we're also somewhere in between, moving towards like more the less pricey spectrum, because other programs, they're quite expensive. Ours is $39.50, but we're actually offering this course for the next few weeks for $19.75, so at 50% off. We may make further adjustments with the tuition in the future, but for now, this is what we offer. All right, I hope I'm not moving too fast. So if I'm moving too fast, just let me know, or if you have questions, just drop them in the chat or the Q&A feature. There's a button there at the bottom of the screen. Okay, let's move on. So just a quick highlight from one of our graduates. I think Efrain graduated a year or so ago from our web development program. And then he mentioned here how challenging the curriculum was, which is true. Our courses are pretty rigid, and that's by design. So we intentionally design our courses to be tough, so you can become competitive and you can bring out your best. Instructors were high quality. That's true as well. In the case of our AI course, we bring in an expert. I will show you his credentials later on. His name is Space, and he's great. I also worked with him in the prior coding school. And then there's plenty of support for you and guidance along the way. And we also have like a lot of alumni stories from the website if you're curious to see more. Right. So there's a lot here. I'm just going to pick the ones that are very interesting and relevant. So the bottom line is there's a lot of challenges that software developers are facing now. There's like, for example, there's increasing competition in the tech industry. There is a lot of engineers. They have a pushback when it comes to adopting to AI technology. Some may feel that they don't need to learn these skills, and then others are very quick to jump and learn new skills. So that depends on the team or the company, but it is undeniable that there's a lot of competition. And you can read this as you needing AI skills to remain competitive in the job market. So the tendency is that I think you are all familiar that there's a lot of layoffs happening in the job market, especially in the US. And those who tend to be, to be let go were the ones who don't have the skills that fit what the companies were looking for. And of course, that's just like that. Not to generalize, all of those layoffs are very, very unfortunate. But a lot of companies right now are redoing a lot of restructuring because of AI. So, in my opinion, I think the more skilled you are in AI, the more your role will become irreplaceable, regardless of whether you are an engineer or you are in customer service or customer success or sales. And then there's also the salary factor. There's a significant difference between traditional tech roles, what they pay for, and then AI engineering jobs and related roles. So, for example, the base salary range for an AI engineer in the US is somewhere between 157K to 227K, compared to 68K to 97K for a software engineer. So the source here is from salary.com. Pay scale is also showing the same figures. So it's a pretty wide gap. And later on, I will show you a screenshot of an actual job posting from LinkedIn that show similar numbers. And of course, the rise of AI threatens job security for traditional roles because it's not just engineering, it's every aspect of the organization, right? It's like sales and marketing and customer success, operations, design. So all of these teams are being affected. I saw that myself in my own company before. So this is very true. Because a lot of the tasks that are like regardless of the team, a lot of those tasks are repetitive and administrative, and they can easily be automated with AI tooling. And then if you go to LinkedIn and apply for any AI related role or software engineering role, more often than not, they would require specific AI skill sets as well. So that's what's happening now. It's a lot of competition. A lot of jobs are requiring AI specific roles. Job security is being affected. Career growth can also be affected because I think it will also affect your promotion if you're not quite savvy with AI technology. And of course, there's an impact on your livelihood and so on. So all of this are very, very important. So why now? Why is now the best time to learn skills related to AI? Sorry, let's go back here. It's because AI is rapidly changing. There's a lot of things happening, a lot of updates happening almost on a daily basis. Like I go to LinkedIn often, And it's oftentimes hard to keep up with every new thing that's happening, whether there's a new AI model released by OpenAI or Google or Meta, or there's a new like technology, some other cool thing or toy that you can try. I'm not sure if you've heard, but I think yesterday or 2 days ago, there's another um, new generative model that can generate like high quality videos. So last week there was Sora, right, from OpenAI, and then yesterday, 3 days ago, there was a VO2, which appears to be much more sophisticated compared to Sora and produces high quality videos and so on. So it's very exciting, but also at the same time quite overwhelming. And then for the past 3 months alone, so these are just like a tiny fraction of what's actually going on. This is just the tip of the iceberg. For example, OpenAI also launched GPT-4o, which is a multimodal model. It's like a tongue twister there. Multimodal model capable of processing and generating not just words and pictures, but also audio. Yesterday, they also released API access to O1, which is a much more a model capable of doing much more advanced reasoning. So it's much more effective when it comes to use cases for math or science or coding. And then I mentioned Sora earlier. I'm not sure if you've ever tried or heard of Google's Notebook LM, which is a really cool tool that can help you understand any document, especially academic texts or papers, relatively easily because there's an option there for you to create podcasts. So regardless of the document or the book or even a video, you upload it there and it will generate two AIs talking as if like in a real podcast. And it's very like engaging to listen to. And that way you can learn better what the content of the paper or the document is if you learn better that way, which most of us do. So it's pretty cool. Also, Apple recently released their iOS, their iOS, I think 18.2, which has some integration with ChatGPT and which makes Siri finally more intelligent. I think if you're using an iPhone. And then there's also GitHub Copilot, which is a coding assistant. There's also Cursor AI, which is another coding assistant, and many other similar tools. So what are the implications of all of these? Like, how does this affect us, especially if you are a software engineer? It means that it would be quite challenging to keep up with your work or to at least be competitive if you are not able to comprehend what's going on or if you don't understand how these things work, like what's an LLM or how it works and how you can use it for your own project or product or for your own company. Another implication is that knowledge and skills in LLMs is essential because pretty soon, most, if not all of the products which you'll be building are going to involve AI to some extent. And then another implication here is that it's also important to know how AI agents function and how to build them and how to deploy them effectively. Because there's a lot of use cases for AI agents, not just for business, but also for healthcare. Like there are agents which can much more effectively diagnose like diseases, for example, or which can aid doctors and nurses and health practitioners in their practice, and or can automate tasks like if there are like repetitive tasks that they have, like for example, I'm also a nurse a lifetime ago, and one of the most tedious things that we did was documentation. So documentation was a pain point for us. So it's not possible to create a product that's AI powered that can make those things easier and much more automatic compared to before. And then integrating AI tools into development workflows. if you know how to build like AI agents, you can basically um, you can potentially run your own company with just being you, like just yourself, or you can run a whole team, like a software development team, just by running some agents. Because you can like theoretically you can create an AI agent that can generate code automatically, and then another agent that can debug automatically, another agent that can do testing, and another agent that can do documentation. So previously, these types of steps, processes are quite time consuming, but now it's possible to um, automate them. So how this course can help is that we teach all of these things, or at least most of them. We teach them in the course. Because I mentioned earlier that the course is comprehensive. Part one is about AI powered software development. So we do teach specific AI tools that can streamline the software development process. And then the second part is all about like building AI applications and agents. So this comes to the point of future proofing your career, because once you learn these skills, it's not something that you would need to update continually, but it's like an evergreen skill that you have, because once you understand, like you have a mental framework of how agents work, what LLMs are, it's relatively easier to understand what's going on. Like whatever update may happen, it's much easier to understand what's going on and how it impacts your career and what you can do to adjust. So basically, learning how to learn is one of the skills you will learn here as well. And then you won't be alone, since there's an expert who can guide you. For example, I was speaking with someone, I think last weekend, and he is a startup founder. He started an edtech startup. He's from the US. He has a machine learning degree from Harvard and MIT. And he's based in Singapore, building something for students. And he's interested in taking this course because he wants to further develop the product that he has. So he has like a specific pain point. He sees a market for it, and he's developing something which can help him, do that. And he asked me whether, is this something that's a good fit for me? Can I ask questions? Can I bring my product into the course? And can someone help me with this if I'm stuck, for example? And the answer is absolutely yes. Pace has some experience with web development. The course itself teaches software development, AI and software development in general. So regardless if it's web development or mobile development, we can help with that. All right. Right. So moving on. So what this means for you is that there's greater flexibility. So there's greater room for creativity for you if you have these skills. Aside from, of course, like the great thing, which is like higher salaries potentially, job security, super important. Those things are super important, but at the same time, there's like greater freedom for you, greater room for creativity. It's like the analogy I would bring up would be, you know, code and no code tools when it comes to building websites. I mean, you don't need to be a coder to create a website. You can just use website builders like Wix or Squarespace, or if it's much more simpler, Card or Webflow. But if you are a coder, you can build. But when you're using those tools, you're much more limited to what the features they offer, what features they offer. Whereas if you are a coder, you can build anything theoretically, for as long as you're creative enough. There are more features you can build. So in the same way, if you know how to build AI agents and AI powered tools, you can potentially create your own company, which can which can serve like a specific market, or you can create your own tools. You can own specific projects within your company. You can stand out among your peers and so on. And then these are some of the roles that you can apply for later on once finishing the course. I did not include here AI engineering, but it can also be listed here. You have machine learning engineer, you have AI product manager, AI solutions architect, and then NLP specialist. All right, so here's an actual job posting from LinkedIn for a machine learning engineer role for Neuralink. I think I took the screenshot last week. And then the salary is somewhere between 159K to 309K. This is on site. I also saw some remote jobs as well from LinkedIn. The salary range does not differ much from this, even if it's remote. And then if you read the description, it will mention familiarity with AI tooling and skills. So it's very, very relevant. And then some average salaries for AI related roles, an AI engineer. This is the figure. Machine learning, 157K base salary, AI product manager. So as you can see, pretty high. I remember when I was still working for this other company, other coding bootcamp, I was working with our outcomes team, and I saw that the average salary for a software engineer was around 80 plus K. And then for a data scientist, I think it was around 82K. So now like it's a huge jump from that to these types of salaries that you can see. Right. I think this was a week ago. If you're familiar with Y Combinator, they are a startup accelerator from the US. And this is such a great episode. Highly recommend this. They mentioned they're basically talking about AI agents here and how potentially the future billion-dollar companies will be coming from startups that develop AI agents. Because basically what AI agents can do is that they can automate boring tasks, admin tasks for you. And there's a lot of companies out there whose pain points are to address these like boring tasks that they have, whether it's sales, like for example, it can be tedious. Like the whole sales process can be. There are some steps there that are tedious, like generating leads or qualifying them or doing outreach. Those can be automated by an agent. And I think some companies are actually doing that. Instead of having like a full sales team, you just have maybe one or two like actual sales development reps, managing a fleet of agents doing 24/7 outreach, sales calls, marketing, and things like that. And then what this implies also is that many, if not most of the companies which will be growing like in the future would be agentic or agentic companies, like companies which have like products which are essentially AI agents, like Replit. If you've heard of Replit, they have what they call Replit agent, which is basically an agent that can code automatically language, or just using like a prompt to create a full stack website, which is pretty cool. And here's Mark Zuckerberg talking about AI agents as well, and how what's the word for that? How ubiquitous they will be in the near future. I think 2025, I've heard a lot of people say, like very influential people, talk about how 2025 will be all about AI agents. Right. And here's another job posting for a software engineer role at OpenAI. Actually, borrowed this from Ali K. Miller, if you've heard of her. She's a very amazing and influential person in the AI space. So this is just for an engineering role, and yet it requires you to be familiar with agents. And then, of course, big tech companies are also working on their own agents. Salesforce, for example, which is a CRM, they have their own agent force, which can automatically do sales stuff on behalf of clients. IBM, they have their own Watson X. Microsoft as well. Google, of course. NVIDIA, they used to just build chips for AI companies, but now they have their own agents as well. And then Amazon, of course. Meta, I think they released an open source because, like, of course, like LLMs can either be like open source or closed source or proprietary. So you have to pay in order to access their agents, and then there are companies which offer their LLMs freely, like Meta. And then in terms of performance, pretty close. So I think depending on your philosophy, whether you're for open source or closed source, you're free to use whatever LLM you want. But of course, if you are looking for the least expensive LLM, that of course it makes the most sense to use open source LLMs. Right. So here's a quick outline of our course. Once again, what you will learn in terms of content, AI-powered software development, and then building AI applications with real-world use cases, and then AI tool integration. In terms of length, it's 10 weeks, 10 hours per week. It's on demand, so we are not strict with the schedule or with attendance. And then after the program, you will have indefinite access to the materials as well. There's also prompt engineering, of course. I think this is part of part 1 of the course. Of course, community is important. It's not productive to learn alone. So we have peers who can help you as well in Discord, and then mini projects and capstone projects, which are really designed to help you master the content. So here's Space. I actually worked with him prior to App Academy. He's pretty amazing. He is an expert in Gen AI. He's been a full stack web developer for, I think, more than 15 years. And he has worked for companies like Logitech and IMAX. And then he has his own startup as well called Pre, which I think integrates AI as well into their products. He's very passionate about AI, and then he is always there, very supportive. He can guide you. He can help you learn, like whatever you're learning from the course. So I think we have covered this. I'm just going to skip this one. The Capstone projects, these are more like generic ones. But typically the projects, they vary. So they can either be like projects related to coding, like an agent that can build, it can generate code, or it can do testing, or it can automatically document the software development lifecycle. And then other projects are much more complicated. So they involve different agents working together, and there's just someone like overseeing everything, making sure that things are working. So a lot of projects there. And then the free trial lasts for 7 days. And then if you are interested in seeing what it looks like, you can just go to ai.appacademy.io. I'll also give you a link later on. And then you can see the platform there. You can explore the curriculum. You can start coding. And then if you think like it's for you, you can upgrade anytime. You can enroll anytime. And that's basically my presentation. I hope it wasn't too long. So if you have any questions, just let me know. You can just drop your questions in the chat. And there's also a Q&A feature there if you want to use that. But I'll also leave um, my email here. If you want to speak with me like one-on-one this week or next week, I'm more than happy to speak with you. Let me just type this in.